A judge has ordered the Trump administration to preserve the contents of the Signal app chat in which top officials discuss Yemen military strikes to be preserved. Tyrone Bowman live. Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the program. You know how we do it over here. Let's get right down to it. As I begin on tonight, I want to say that yes, we are live as always. Sometimes we're live for a short period of time, and then there are times we're live for an extended period of time. Thank you for all of the individuals, men and women from all walks of life who have subscribed to Tyrone Bowman Live. Now let's talk about this recent decision that was rendered here. According to ABC News, a federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to preserve the contents of the chat in which top national security officials used the Signal app to discuss military strikes in Yemen as they were taking place earlier this month. U.S. District Judge James Boasberg ordered the top cabinet officials named in a lawsuit by the government transparency group American Oversight to retain any messages sent and received over Signal between March 11 and March 15. Benjamin Sparks, a lawyer representing American Oversight, raised concerns that these messages are imminent danger of destruction due to settings with Signal that can be set to delete messages automatically, prompting Judge Boasberg to order the Trump administration file a sworn declaration by this Monday to ensure the messages are preserved. The lawsuit, which names Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and the National Archives as defendants. Ask a federal judge to declare the use of Signal unlawful and order the cabinet members to preserve the records immediately, as Signal's deleting of messages violates governmental record-keeping requirements. The use of the Signal group chat was revealed Monday by the Atlantic editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, who said he was inadvertently added to the chat as top national security officials, including Hegseth and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, were discussing the military operation. According to screenshots of the Signal messages published by The Atlantic, the messages were sent to disappear after a certain time frame. Originally, the messages were set to disappear after 1 week. Then, according to screenshots of the messages published by the magazine on March 15, after Hegseth sent the first operational update, the messages were set to disappear after 4 weeks. Judge Boasberg declined for now to order administration officials to disclose if Signal had been used by the Trump administration in a wider context. I don't think at this point that that's something that I would be prepared to order, he said, quote, close quote. On the heels of Trump early Thursday accusing Boasberg on social media of grabbing the Trump cases all to himself, the judge began the hearing by providing a detailed description of the D.C. District Court's automated system for assessing cases, including how each judge is allotted electronic cards to ensure cases are fairly distributed. You know what gets me is how these people are always crying foul. They're always crying that somebody's trying to get them. Somebody's trying to do things that's going to hurt them. Somebody's always violating the law. When they are the ones who are skirting the law, violating the law, doing things to just make people's lives miserable for no reason at all. And then when they get caught, they play the deflection game. I don't want you to look at what I'm doing, just believe what I tell you. Really? That may work for the MAGA voters who choose to be blind and who choose to be ill-informed and who choose to believe the propaganda that's continuously being spewed through venomous lies. but it doesn't work for the vast populace within society. Boasberg earlier this month temporarily blocked President Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act to deport more than 200 alleged gang members to El Salvador without due process, leading the White House to call for his impeachment and publicly attacked him as a Democrat activist and a radical left lunatic. What's wrong with being a Democratic activist? What, is that a bad thing? They call the Democrats radical left lunatics. What about the MAGA racist, bigoted haters? Yeah, you don't like that though, do you? You don't like to hear truth about MAGA and about the Republicans. See, all the venom and verbiage that you all spew about black people, I spew it right back at you. Because we're not a spineless people. We're not a weak people. We're not a people that's going to sit back and just take any and everything that's been said against us. If you talk about the Jewish people the way you talk about black people, the ADL would be all over y'all, and you know it. Because they don't forgive and they don't forget any type of disparaging words against them or their organization. And they will shut it all down. We as a people, I'm talking to black people right now, learn to unify. Learn to organize. Learn to pool our monies together and build for ourselves. We must stop being codependent upon someone else to do what we could, quote, do for self, end quote, the words of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. We have to get to the point where we are self-sufficient, have our own political action committees, the same way they have theirs, and they raise hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars, to support the candidates that will vote in their best interests. And we must have our own political action committees as well. So we don't have to protest in the streets and raise hell. We can just take our money and make our money speak for us, make our money work for us. Because that's what they want us to do. They want us in the streets. They want us raising hell so they can use unjustifiable force only against black people, no other people. Well, not this time. We're not coming to the streets. We're not running to anybody's aid. So you can call Democrats whatever you want to call them. It's good to be called an activist. That means you're proactive. So become a democratic, proactive activist and fight for the causes that you believe in. Fight for the platforms that you want endorsed. Fight for the constituency that you want to propel you to the next presidential electoral victory. Fight for them. The campaign begins now. I said the campaign begins now. You don't wait until 2026 or 2027. You start organizing and strategizing, mobilizing, boots on the ground right now. Prepare for the midterm elections now. I'm going to be showing several rallies from Senator Bernie Sanders starting tonight. I want you to see how an independent voice that is raising the consciousness level in this nation. And to close this out, lawyers for the Department of Defense prior to Thursday's hearing filed a declaration stating that they have requested that a copy of the signal messages in question be forwarded to an official DoD account so they can be preserved. A second declaration from a lawyer for the Treasury Department stated that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, along with Bessent's Chief of Staff, has retained all messages, beginning with Mike Waltz's messages on March 15. President Trump and other top administration officials have downplayed the use of the signal to discuss the attack, saying classified information was not shared in the chat, despite the exchange including information on the weapons systems being used and the timing of the strike. There's a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. Take your destinations into your own hand. Never surrender. Never quit.